Okay, 2002 Chevy Express 2500 with a 5.7 liter engine. This was the van that I bought from auction. The major component wrong with it was just a bad battery, but of course it wasn't 100% perfect on everything else. But at least it was running and driving good. So I wanted to do some things like coolant flush, diff fluid change, transmission, pan filter replacement, and gasket replacement. I started calling around on shops because I can do all this myself, but I just don't have the time, or so I thought, until I started getting prices. So one thing I have going on is I've got a code for circuit performance. And basically the EGR valve stuck open, a couple different codes. So I called around seeing how much it was to get that replaced so I didn't have to worry about it. $850 were the quotes that I got for that. So they wanted like $300 for the coolant change and $517 for the pan replacement for the gasket and the filter. I'm not paying that. I don't have a lot of time, and I do have a little bit of money, but not enough money that I'm spending it all on that. So today we have the new EGR valve. I got the premium CarQuest version. It's pretty easy to get to, so we're going to show you how to replace this EGR valve on this van. It looks to me like it's going to be pretty easy. Just have a basic set of tools here. Got the valve with the new gasket, driver here, multi-screwdriver, some extensions, a basic socket driver kit. This should be enough for me to be able to get this job done. And you know, I don't want to knock auto shops. I know they have to make money, but for 800 bucks, I got this, man. And in case you're wondering how much of that $800 was the part price and what they quoted, they were charging $300 for the EGR valve. Now, I can't say it was the identical one, but this was the Advance Auto Premium. They had a cheaper one for $90, but this is the premium one, and it was $130. And actually, they have a discount a lot of times at Advance, where if you purchase online and pick up in store, then you save like 20%. So I think my total, including tax, was somewhere around $110 for the part. So the first thing it looks like we need to do is get this air intake off with the air filter. That's a 10mm bolt on the front, two of them here. Set those to the side, hope I don't lose them. 8mm for the boot clamp. Uh-oh. The air box has a little bit of a problem underneath. There we go. Looks like, yeah, it's supposed to have some grommets down in there, and looks like they haven't held up too well, but the air filter's clean, so that's good. Look at that, that's a little loose, but that's okay, it needs to come off anyway. So we're going to disconnect these two connectors here, and we're going to work at getting the rest of this air intake out of the way. Try to take it off as one piece. There we go. Maybe I'll clean that before we put it back in, but it actually doesn't look that dirty. Now, just pulling those off, we're already there. So here is the EGR valve. Right down here. Pretty easy to get to, it looks like. Still trying to see this $850 job. So that EGR is right here. Right here where my hand is. It's got two bolts and a connector. That's it. We're popping off this connector now. Take a look at it. Make sure that there's nothing that looks like visually wrong with it, and it doesn't appear to me that there is. I think I'm gonna pop this connector out over here just so I can get some extra room. That's for, looks like, coolant temp sensor. I gotta spend more time figuring out where to put the camera than actually doing the repair. So it looks like it's also a 10, so I'm gonna get an extension, a long extension, so I can reach it. And let's see here. It is indeed a 10. So I'm gonna make this extension real long past the camera. And we're just gonna pop that loose, which is super easy. Pop this other one loose. Oops, popped it a little hard, got the camera popped. And I'm turning it out by hand and trying not to lose these. I gotta work around the camera here, try not to drop these down in the engine where you can't get them back. Bam. Let's see if I can pop that loose. Yep, came right off. Okay, as you can see down there, there's a lot of that gasket still on there. And that's going to be the hard part of the job, because you don't want to leave any of that on there. So, as you see here, there's some of it left on there. It does say it was stuck open. It doesn't quite look like it's stuck open, but it does look pretty carboned up and black. And it also had a circuit code, so that motor might have been trash. So I'm gonna have to work at getting that gasket off. That's gonna be the difficult part. My solution to that problem is I'm gonna take a crack at it with this rotary tool with a flex shaft and with some soft abrasive on the end of it, and hopefully that'll take care of it to where I don't have to get my hands in there too much. I'm not gonna put that on camera because I don't want any pieces flying off and hitting the camera. Okay, so as you can see, we've got that all nice and clean now. You want to make sure after however you're gonna get that clean, that you clean up the area around the gasket with a rag afterwards, and try and make sure that none of that makes it into the ports. We're gonna try and slide this down here around the camera. It's like there's enough I'm trying to go around, let alone have this camera here, but hey, what you gonna do, right? Get that gasket in there. I always try to get like one side of the gasket in. I'm gonna hand tighten that bolt just a little bit so it doesn't go anywhere. Then we can work on getting the other side. Oh, and I dropped the screw. Great. How we gonna get her back? Well, time to go get a pair of pliers. Oh. Oh, yeah. You know what? I might even use these pliers to get in here better. To get this screw started. It's always a difficult part, right? Gonna snug this down with my drill. Go ahead and pop the other side. When you're tightening stuff down, anything that has a gasket, you want to rotate back and forth between the two sides. You don't want to like crank one side all the way down and then work to the other side, because you're gonna warp the gasket. It's not gonna be set evenly. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this down. Got that side tight. That side's as tight as I want it. I don't want to break it. There we go. Now we need to get our connectors plugged back in. Bam. You in there, buddy? Yeah, you're in there. You're in there, nice. So now we are back to putting everything together. These little grommets are torn apart, but hey, I don't have any on me, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I am gonna take this MAF off because I just want to make sure that it looks clean. If you see in there, it looks pretty good, pretty clean. That has to be that way. But just so you know, there's a little groove in the front of this that has to meet with this air box over here. Oh shoot. There is one more thing that we need to do before we can call the job complete, and that's we need to clear the code out. I got this super old scanner. I've had it for like 15 years. It barely works, but it does still work, and it does live data. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna clear the codes out. So press any key to menu. We're gonna erase codes. Am I sure I want to erase codes? Yes. Now relink, detecting the data. DTC count 0, all right? So now we have to drive the vehicle, which won't be in this video, but I'll drive it around for a while for the day, see if I get the check engine to come back on, but this should take care of it. So if you wanted to know how to replace an EGR valve and save apparently $850, that was super easy and took me like less than an hour, including cleaning the gasket. So hopefully that helps you out. Thank you for watching.